All right, so next I just want to review some properties of limits and do a quick little problem. This is all stuff that you probably remember, but doesn't hurt to go over it again, just to make sure. All right, so if you have a constant times a function and you take the limit, it's equal to the constant times the limit of the function. All right, we also have a property for the sum of two functions. If we have the limit of the sum of two functions is just equal to the sum of the limits of the two functions. Same way with products. If we have the product of two functions, the limit of a product is just equal to the product of the limits. Same way with quotients, all right? So we have a ratio of two functions, right? And so we can take the ratio of the limits, okay? As long as the denominator is not 0. And of course, the constant, if you have a constant function and you sneak up on any value, you're just going to get that constant, really, right? Because essentially it's just a horizontal line in that case. And then, yeah, so if we have just the linear function x, then if we approach c, then the limit as x approaches c of x is obviously c. All right. Those are all pretty, I think they're pretty intuitively, I don't want to say obvious, nothing's obvious, but you know, they're pretty straightforward. So let's just take a look at this quick example here. So we're told what the limits are as x approaches 5 of f of x, g of x, and h of x. All right, so these are all limits as x approaches 5. And so the limit of f of x as x approaches 5 is 9. G of x approaches 1/3 and h of x approaches 1/6. And then we're asked, what is the limit of this? It looks like we have a sum and then a product, right? So let's just break it down. So we know that the limit of a product is the product of the limits, right? So we can actually rewrite this as the limit as x approaches 5 of f of x plus h of x, right, because that's one of the factors in this product, times the limit as x approaches 5 of g of x. Okay, and now we can break down the sum even farther. The limit as x approaches 5, so the limit of a sum is the sum of the limits. So we have f of x plus the limit as x approaches 5 of h of x, right? H of x. I'm going to put that all in parentheses, and then that's times the limit as x approaches 5 of g of x. And now we know all of those limits, right? F of x approaches 9 as x approaches 5, right? H of x approaches, looks like -6 as x approaches 5, and then g of x approaches 1/3. Okay, so if we do the arithmetic now, we just get basically 3 times 1/3, which is just 1. So our answer here is 1.